Nike launches shoe line made from waste.
Mercedes pledges carbon neutral production by 2025.
By 2030, electronic vehicles to constitute 65% of vehicles sold in India.
Hello everyone, it feels great to see you all here. I am Amit Sevani.
And I am Ayushi Sheikh.
We welcome you all to the first technical session on sustainability.
Sustainability is fast becoming a key priority for corporates around the world, linked to their company branding strategy as well as expectations of their shareholders. The modern business is now tasked with being more than a revenue-generating, profit-driven entity. Businesses today are expected to have an extra layer of ethics and moral duty towards the society. There has been a corresponding shift in the mindset of investors to include sustainability as a goal apart from primary goal of wealth creation. Further, even large businesses and entrepreneurs have shifted their focus towards a green and healthy environment. Big corporates like Nike have been using recycled, environment-friendly materials for its products.
To enlighten us on this topic, we have with us C. Dr. Sanjeev Singhal as the chairperson of this session. Also, adding glory to the days are Shri Prashant Koteja, Managing Committee Member, Vadodara branch of WIRC, and Mr. Shanay Murjani, Managing Committee Member, Vikasa, Vadodara.
We welcome our paper presenters for this session, Mr. Rajan Nagar from Ahmedabad, Mr. Aman Bharadwaj from Vadodara, and Mr. Akshay Popat from Vadodara. I now request CA Prashant Kotecha to deliver his opening remarks.
Good afternoon, friends. A very warm welcome to all of you to this National Conference for CA Students 2022. The theme of this student conference is In Future. So we are talking about future in all the technical sessions now. The first session, what if our future is not sustainable? So we are starting with sustainability and the topics related to that. And none other than CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal sir, Chairman of Audit and Assurance Standard Board and Chairman of Sustainability Reporting Standard Board of ICI is present with us to guide us how the Chartered Accountant can be a part of sustainability goals set by United Nations had set 17 goals for sustainable future as a Envision 2030. Some of the goals that we as a chartered accountant and as we call ourselves as a partner of national building, we can concentrate upon that education, energy, economic growth, and also a partnership with government to help in achieving the sustainable goals. So without further ado, let's start the session by inviting our presenters to share their knowledge on the respective topics. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We would now take the honor to introduce our session chairperson, C. Dr. Sanjeev Singhal. He is chairperson of Auditing and Assurance Standard Board and Sustainability Reporting Standard Board. He has been in practice for 20 years. He has completed doctorate in International Finance from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi. He has received more than 100 merit certificates throughout his academic journey. He has written over 14 books which have been published by leading publishers. He has also contributed in leading journals and ICI publication. With this, we welcome C. Dr. Sanjeev Singhal.
I request CA Prashant Kotecha to present memento and plantable seed pen to CA Sanjeev Singhal.
I have already received that memento in the opening session.
Thank you, sir.
A very good afternoon, friends. So the impact of sustainability, as Sushil Bhai was saying, you have already seen. The mementos have become sustainable. I'm going to talk about, as a prelude to the paper presenters, the sustainability momentum in India and the initiatives of ICAI. And I thank my Vice Chairperson, C.A. Preeti Savla, who's working with me as the Vice Chairperson. So it started in 2009, and now we have BRSR from this year, which is mandatory. Business responsibility and sustainability reporting. It's mandatory for top 1,000 listed entities from this year. This is a very, very comprehensive format. SEBI has also come out with a light format, which can be adopted by the companies for which BRSR is not mandatory. Your Sustainability Reporting Standard Board is working on the technical literature, capacity building, advocacy, and the regulatory interactions. We have already come out with a material on business responsibility and sustainability reporting. We are running a certificate course on BRSR. So far, 10 batches have been done. We have come out with a standard on assurance engagement on greenhouse gas statements. We have come out with a sustainability reporting maturity model, and in 3 volumes we have come out with a publication called Sustainable Development Goals, Accountants Creating the Sustainable World. This SRMM, and we should all be proud of, this is the world's first such model which enables companies to do a self-evaluation as to where do they stand on BRSR, and IFAC hosted it on their website, and this model has received applause from across the world. And yesterday when we were with our own CS Suresh Prabhuji, he was saying it's very innovative and it's a path-breaking step. So it classifies the journey of an organization into 4 stages. A formative stage, if it scores between 0 to 25% marks on our criteria. Emerging stage for more than 25% and up to 50%. Established stage, more than 50% and up to 75%, and leading by example if scores more than 75%. Friends, on the capacity building, we have already done 10 batches of the online certificate course. We have held 13 webinars with a combined viewership of more than 20,000 members, and these have been around sustainable finance and ESG rating, accelerating the sustainability agenda, COVID-19, need for the strategic focus on SDGs, and emerging opportunities for chartered accountants in sustainability reporting. We also ran a carbon footprint challenge for our members, wherein our members have given suggestions that how they can make their offices carbon neutral. मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल अगर दूं तो आप पेपर का 2 साइड यूज करिए. आप रिसाइकलेबल पेपर यूज करने की जगह रिसाइकिल्ड पेपर यूज कीजिए. सिमिलरली प्लांटेबल पेन्स, प्लांटेबल पेंसिल्स इनको यूज कीजिए. एनर्जी एफिशिएंट इक्विपमेंट यू शुड यूज. 5-star rating. Don't use plastic bottles in your office. Don't use single-use plastic. Anyway, single-use plastic is banned. There's a lot which we can do. Do a car pool, do a scooter pool, whatever you can do. Travel by the public transport. Whatever carbon emission we can reduce, we must reduce. So a carbon footprint challenge we ran, and recently we also ran very innovative, take the ICI sustainability challenge for school children, right from 1st standard to 5th standard, 6th standard to 12th standard, and the college students and the CA interns. And we gave very attractive prizes. The idea was to promote sustainability among the students. As far as the advocacy and regulatory interactions are concerned, there is hardly any body with which we have not interacted. And we should all be proud of this fact that we have interacted with the IFAC, IIRC, GRI, PAFA. PAFA stands for Pan-African Federation of Accounting, ISSB, which stands for International Sustainability Standard Board, UNCAD, which is a wing of the United Nations, SAFA, which is South Asian Federation of Accounting, and the World Economic Forum. We are working with SEBI, NITI Aayog, and IFSCA in your own Gujarat for partnering in sustainability initiatives. And there are a number of initiatives which we have taken for professional growth also. One among them is the social stock exchange framework, which is established by SEBI, and ICI is developing the social audit standards for the same. Last year we launched the Sustainability Awards, and these Sustainability Awards were launched with a view that the corporates are encouraged to imbibe sustainability in their reporting. And this framework for social stock exchange we have already developed, and now we are developing the sector-specific social audit standards. There is a lot which can be done. We are also funding some of the research projects by giving a grant of 1 million rupee for each such project in sustainability. And anyone, whether a chartered accountant or not a chartered accountant, can apply for the same. And if the project is found useful, this will be accepted by the research committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. So there's a lot which we can achieve together, and I'm really looking forward to all the 3 papers that will be presented today, and best of luck to all the paper presenters. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, what is Sustainability Reporting Standard Board and what does it reports on?
The board is responsible for reporting on sustainable development goals. These goals are a group of 17 important issues which every country faces and needs to be solved by 2030 for a better living. To throw more light on the same, we have Mr. Rajan Nagar from Ahmedabad.
Yes, but like that. जियो और जीने दो. The message given by Mahavir Swami. What do you think? How we are successful to follow this message in our life? Don't you think so? Majority of human beings are following complete opposite of the same. And आज के मनुष्य ने अपना खुद का एक मैसेज बना दिया है और वो लोग उसी में जी रहे हैं. क्या? ना शांति से जिएंगे, ना शांति से जीने देंगे. Jokes apart. So actually we have to think why people are living like that. So at this moment we have one golden key, and that golden key is the key of sustainability. Sustainability help us to know actually how we can implement that message in our life, Jio or Jeene Do. So as of now, why the world leaders, majority of the main organizations and influencers are focusing too much on the sustainability? And the recent example of the same is the Save Soil movement led by Sadhguru. Are you all aware about that? Yes. Good. And after that, our institute, ICA, is also working very hard for the sustainability. And all are working giving too much importance to this topic. Why? Why they are working hard? Have you ever think about it? So, there should be some strong reason, isn't it? Yes. So, first of all, let me see the basic meaning of the sustainability. So, it is the sustainability is meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And at the same time, we have many questions. Can we end the poverty? Can we end the hunger completely? can we achieve the gender equality, and can we halt this climate changes. So there is many social, economical and problems in the world. So what do you think? Can we achieve it by the 2030? Well, according to the United Nations and many world organizations, they believe that yes, we can achieve by 2030, and they have developed 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Yes. So let's we see together what they have planned and how they are working on this. So, hello, namaskar, dear Sajjano. I, Rajan Nagar from Ahmedabad. I honored to be here at the city of Kala, the city of Vadodara. But before we begin, I want to state very important remarks and I want to give important message. Let's not be a self-centered human being, and let's live the life for which we get the life as a human being. So, guys, there are two ways to approach this subject. One is to be a casual, just listen and casual about and forget it and ignore. And the second one is to be responsible about this topic and give complete your attention and listen it very carefully and do act accordingly. So I request you all of you to give your complete attention to this topic, and because sustainability teaches us to live for all. Okay, so guys, do you want to live self-centered life? Okay, so we have to be more attentive about this topic for next 10 minutes, and I am sure whoever listen me carefully in this 10 minutes will surely develop the responsibility of sustainability within their heart. Thank you. So first of all, our first agenda of today is sustainable literacy trial. There is a three pillars of sustainability: environment, society and economical. We can say it's the concept of triple bottom line. Planet, people and profit. So first of all, what is the meaning of sustainable literacy? Sustainable literacy means by knowledge, skill and mindset that allows individuals to make them commit and create a sustainable future, and it can help them to become a sustainable literate person. So now, who is a sustainable literate person? Sustainable literate person is an individual who understands the need to be changed and to do things in a sustainable way, have a sufficient knowledge and skill about decide and act in favor of sustainability, and be able to recognize and award the people and decisions in favor of who are in favor of sustainability. And let's take the importance and need of sustainability in this time. It improves our quality of life, it protects our ecosystem, it preserves natural resources for the future generations, and make people to understand the responsibility towards the society, environment and other living species and non-living element of the earth. And in the corporate world, by following sustainability, they will benefit in the long term. So, after that, if we want to implement sustainable literacy in our life, how can we implement it? So there are 5 steps to implement sustainable literacy in our life: awareness, attitude, understanding, problem solving and action. What I mean by that? Awareness about the relationship between the human and environment. Positive attitude in our mind and concern for our environment. Understanding of the human nature, natural system and processes, and problem solving skills and decision making. And action. We should at individual level always action to achieve sustainability, and thereby we can achieve sustainable literacy in our life and become a sustainable literate person. So now our second agenda is sustainable development goal. So what I mean by that? Sustainable development goals, actually it is a global goal adopted by General Assembly of United Nations in 2015. Many world leader countries together decided 17 sustainable goals, which this is a layout to achieve a more sustainable world and to ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by the 2030. So let me see together and have a quick look on the 17 sustainable goals: no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, sustainable consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, strong institution and partnership for the goal. So from perusal of these 17 goals, we can assure that these all 17 goals giving is to all the three pillars of sustainability: environment, economic, and social. So, this is a 2030 agenda made by the United Nations. There is 193 countries participating and collaboratively working together at world level to achieve sustainability and to balance three dimensions of the sustainability. And in India, Niti Aayog is working for achievement of sustainability development goals in India. And when the sustainability development goals is happened, and the world is finding actually how actually we can implement and follow the sustainable development goals. At that time, from our India, Niti Aayog has achieved the lead by implementing and finding the Sustainable Development Goals India Index in the 2018 baseline report. So it generally documents this SDG India Index document the performance of the states and union territories, how actually they are performing for achievement of SDGs in India. And in our Indian government is working very hard for this, and they have agenda of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So let me see the current status of India in 2022 for achievement of SDGs. So as per the Global Sustainability Development Goals 2022 report, our India has slipped for third consecutive year from 170 to 121st rank out of the 163 countries. Our country is facing major challenge in implementing and achieving 11 goals out of the 17 goals. And now only 8 years is left for the 2030, and our country is off track now. Hence, awareness action is required at our individual citizens level. Awareness is required, and thereby we can all help our country to implement and step up to perform very well in achievement of the SDGs in India. So, with this note, let me check our initiative for the achievement of SDGs. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, partner in nation building, has been continuously undertaking various activities for the achievement of the SDGs, like they have developed sustainability literacy drive for spreading awareness about it, carbon footprint challenges, then certificate courses available on business reporting and sustainability reporting. Then they have to encourage the best practices. ICI is also awarding the same by the ICI Sustainability Reporting Awards, and thereby mega tree plantation activities and all. So there are various certificate courses available on ICI Digital Learning Hub. Guys, you can check on this and take responsibility of your sustainability literacy and become a sustainable literate person by doing these courses. And recently, Vadodara Vikasa branch has done the mega tree plantation drive on World Environment Day. And likewise, many other ICI branches are doing the same for achievement of SDGs. They all are working together. Our ICI is contributing very much for the achievement of SDGs. And so ICI, from our syllabus of the CA final students and all, we can see that they have incorporated their topics in our study also, like triple bottom line, sustainable growth rate, CSR, etc. Means they are also trying to make their students also for awareness about the SDGs, and they are, we can say it is a contribution to sustainable literacy. So there is a sustainable reporting standard board also, who for the various objective to formulation, implementation of sustainability accounting standards and their guidance, interpretation, and for developing opportunity for chartered accountants in sustainable reporting. So we should be thankful to our institute for giving us opportunity to contribute this novel cause of sustainability. So now let's check the role of chartered accountants in sustainable development goals. Chartered accountants plays very important role in sustainable development goals. So they help business organizations to incorporate sustainable development risk and opportunities in the long-term value creation strategies. They help to integrate SDGs in the governance, management, and reporting of the business. They also play a role in sustainable accounting, sustainable reporting, and they help business organizations to compute sustainable level of profit and reporting on the three pillars of the sustainability. And chartered accountants is also responsible to work for a public. In a public interest, they also have to work for achievement of SDGs. So at the end, how individual can contribute in SDG? We like layman people, how can contribute to SDGs? For that, and from that chart, we can see that majority responsibility to achievement of SDGs on the individuals, the citizens of the country. So the United Nations formulate few measures for the individuals to achievement or for the achievement of sustainability development goals at individual level. Like donate what you don't donate wasteless food, then be vaccinated, help your child educated, then empower women and promote equality, less wastewater, then use energy efficient appliances, create job opportunities, use public transport, recycle, avoid plastic and plant trees, and now to stop global warming. So now, guys, Earth, our Dharti Mata, wants to talk with you something.
You all humans are best and most privileged creation of the universe, and you all are capable to save me. I urge you all to save me.
So guys, are you agree with Dharti Mata that we are the best and privileged creation of the universe? Good. So now you should think, how can I contribute to save our earth and for achievement of SDGs? So at that end, I can say that we, the human beings, are the best creation and privileged creation of this universe, and we work solely and collaboratively and make it possible on larger extent. Being the responsible youth of this country, we take the responsibility of sustainability at least our own surrounding and nurture, protect, and support the other creation of the universe. And our small drop of contribution can have a large impact for achievement of SDGs in India by 2030. So, at last, I want to inculcate and fix it within ourselves by that we take the responsibility of sustainability within ourselves, and by telling to our inner universe, and our inner universe will help us to implement these SDGs at our individual level. So, guys, I humbly request you, all of you, that please do with me. I want to do one thing, and just you have to do, just close your eyes and please put your hand on your heart, and I need your just few seconds, and please utter these lines within your mind. सबका मंगल सबका मंगल सबका मंगल होए रे, तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल होए रे, जल में थल में और गगन में सबका मंगल होए रे, तेरा मंगल मेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होए रे, सबका मंगल होए रे. We have prayed for the well-being of all other creations, living, non-living elements of the earth. So, feel the positive vibes within ourselves, surround yourself. It will surely, we have transmitted positive vibrations to the universe, and our universe will surely make it impactful and make our surrounding for the well-being of your surrounding. So, at the end, act responsible, think sustainable. With this positive note, I hereby signing off. So at the end, let me not forget that first message given by Mahavir Swami. क्या था वो? अनेक वखत आपने गुजराती मातृभाषाમાં. Speak loudly. Yes. So we should follow this in our life, and we, the youth, follow this sustainability in our life and take responsibility of ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajan.
Friends, have you ever thought where you guys will be by 2030 as a professional?
I haven't thought about it, but why?
A man from the future is with us to present a paper on the role of CA in achieving India's 2030 EV ambition. We welcome Mr. Aman Bharadwaj from Vadodara.
Hello. Good afternoon, chartered accountants and future chartered accountants. I am Aman Bhardwaj from Vadodara itself. Before coming on my topic, I want to ask all of you two simple questions. How many of you have recently purchased a vehicle, let's say in past 3 years? Please raise your hands. Okay. And out of those who are raising hands, how many of you have considered to purchase an electric vehicle as their preference? Okay, great. Many hands are down, but no need to worry. India has set a target, and after achieving that target, I am sure that the hands which were up after the first question will remain up after the second question too. And we are going to talk about the role the chartered accountants are going to play in helping India in achieving that target. So here comes our topic, the role of chartered accountants in India's 2030 EV ambition. So we are here and we want to achieve that, and this is the path and this is the person who are going to help India in achieving that target. You might be thinking that I am just saying ambition, target, but what does that mean? Let us first understand that. India's 2030 EV ambition was first introduced by none other than the Minister of Road Transport and Highways of India, Shri Nitin Gadkari. It basically achieves to achieve certain percentage in specific segments of vehicles, like 30% for private cars, 70% for commercial vehicles, 40% for buses, and 80% for 2 and 3 wheelers. With this, the government is also targeting to create a huge charging infrastructure in the country to support the ambition. And the government is expecting to attract more foreign investments after this ambition. But we have understood what is this ambition, but why it is needed? Why it is needed? क्या आराम से खा रहे थे, पी रहे थे, सो रहे थे, पर चाहिए क्यों? गाड़ी तो है ना हमारे पास. Let's understand that. The first reason is rising fuel prices and climate change. No one would be denying the fact that fuel prices are rising tremendously. I sometimes myself think that fuel prices have taken a line seriously. The sky is the limit. And we are also witnessing the climate change. Like in this year itself, the temperature in the March itself was around 35 to 40 degrees, which is a huge impact. The next reason we are introducing this ambition is severe impact on the environment. The air quality index of many big cities in India is touching the sky. It is very severe, and the noise pollution caused by it is also very bad. The third reason is reliance on conventional mode not sustainable. We also know that the petrol and diesel are non-renewable sources of energy. So we should shift from non-renewable to renewable sources of energy. And the point which I left earlier is the call of WBCSD and leading companies. Let us understand that. The call of World Business Council for Sustainable Development and leading Indian companies to Government of India. The World Business Council for Sustainable Development and over 30 leading Indian companies are calling to the government to support and to ensure that at least 65% of the vehicles sold in India being electric by 2030. And with this, the government is planning to achieve the road transport emission, to reduce the road transport emission by 15%. And the CEOs are urging to government that the electric vehicles will make mobility more cheaper for the Indian citizens. It will reduce the pollution, and with it will also help the government to cut the dependency on fossil fuel imports, which we are depending on foreign countries like Arab and now Russia. This is the document which is signed by CEOs of leading businesses in India. Here you can see Hero Electric, Shell, Volvo, and many other leading businesses. Now, we have talked about why we need this. But does knowing the why only achieve the target? I am asking you, does the why only achieve the target? We also need to understand that how we can achieve it. So here is the most important step, is building supply chain of batteries domestically. Why I said domestically is because that the government is also trying to promote the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So the government should provide subsidies to manufacturers of parts of electric vehicles. The next and the basic step is building charging infrastructure. The first point which comes as a problem in our mind when we try to buy an electric vehicle is, अरे यार लंबे सफर पे जाएंगे तो चार्जिंग मिलेगा कि नहीं रास्ते में, क्या भरोसा? And if a company gives you an option to provide you phone without a charger, will you buy it? The company says that you have to go to the shops to buy the charger. Will you buy it? Well, few people buy it. And the next, the step in achieving the target is subsidies and incentives. Government is trying to promote by giving subsidies to the manufacturers of parts of electric vehicles and the electric vehicle buyers. Next step is support product innovation. You all would be agreeing that there is always a room for improvement. So the government and the EV players should focus on improving the product so that more and more people prefer electric vehicles against the conventional mode transport. And the next step is creating awareness among the people. As many knows that we get subsidies for purchasing electric vehicles, but don't many people know it. So the government should also focus on creating awareness among the people. Now we have understood where we want to go, why we want to go, and how we will be going there. But are we knowing our current position? No. When we want to get directions in the Google Maps also asks you where you are standing right now, your current location. So here are some facts which makes us understand where we are standing today. You would be happy to know that India is the 5th largest automotive industry in the world, and electric vehicle industry is being valued at $383.5 million in 2021, and the sales figures in financial year 2021 is 3,24,840 units, which is only 1.7% of total. It motivates us to go ahead. It is a long way to go ahead from 1.7% to 65% by 2030. But it is a good news that growth in sales in 2021 is 163% compared to the last year. And there are only 1,740 public charging stations in India now. So this is the chart representing the market share by vehicle type. Like the major share is held by passenger car, followed by commercial vehicles, then two-wheelers, and the least is three-wheelers. The next, the main topic of our discussion, what the role a chartered accountant can play in this ambition. What a CA will do? Will he innovate something? No. Okay, we all argue that the knowledge of a chartered accountant is incomparable. So will he help in R&D process? No, obviously no. So what a role can CA play in this ambition? Let us understand that. Let me guide you through this. The first role is of the finance manager. Can a company run without money? Louder! Can a company run without money? No. Yes, money is the basic and yet most crucial factor in surviving and thriving in the market. A chartered accountant with his advanced knowledge in finance can help the EV players in capital budgeting, capital financing, and various other financial services. The next role a chartered accountant can play is optimum resource utilization. With the profound knowledge of a chartered accountant in costing area, he can help the electric vehicle players in optimizing the resource utilization, in minimizing the output and maximizing the input, and strategically delivering the cost-effective product. The next role the chartered accountant can play is in the area of tax exemption and incentives. It is an undeniable fact that chartered accountants are masters of taxation. In the field of taxation, their services are commendable. So they can help the manufacturers of electric vehicles and their parts to opt for various subsidies and tax exemptions and incentives launched by the government of India to support this ambition, which the manufacturers are unaware of. The next role, and I think the most important role the chartered accountant can play is as an entrepreneur. The knowledge a chartered accountant has is immense, be it in the field of costing, tax, accounts, finance, economics, be it anywhere. It has knowledge of every field. And by being an entrepreneur, a chartered accountant can take this ambition to greater heights. The next role a chartered accountant can play is helping the government in policy framing. Yes, the knowledge of chartered accountant in the law is always considered while framing any law relating to commerce, tax, legal fields. And chartered accountants are always the most important committee members before framing any law. They can help government in framing policies which are beneficial for both manufacturers and EV purchasers. The next role the chartered accountant can play is compliance with laws. It is well said that if you think compliance is expensive, try non-compliance. The chartered accountant can help the EV players in complying with the laws and regulations of the country so that the EV players survive and thrive in the market in the long run. The next role a chartered accountant can play is of a business consultant. It is well said by the Marx Forward, president of ICAEW, that CAs in India are far technically superior. Now accounting is not limited to technicality. Now clients look and value those CAs who can provide a solution to problems and have knowledge of dynamics of business. A CA can be a business advisor, can be a strategist, and can be a forefront administrator to the client and help the client to deal with various changing scenarios in business environment. A CA can interpret reports, technical reports, and technical law language, and can help the client to solve the problems. And let's have a look on the impact of EV ambition after achieving it. The first is saving of $60 billion in fuel cost. Can you imagine? Saving of $60 billion. The next is cut down on 1 gigaton of carbon emissions. It will have a great impact on the health of the people of India. The next is attract foreign investment of about $20 billion. Now next 60 millions, then 20 millions. And it will grow the employment opportunities in India, then like 10 million direct jobs and 50 million indirect jobs. It will obviously help economy to grow, and it will help India in achieving its ambition of global manufacturing hub in electric vehicle. I would like to end my session with a shairi that कामयाबी नाकाम हुई तो क्या, कामयाबी नाकाम हुई तो क्या, अभी बंदे में जान बाकी है, कामयाबी नाकाम हुई तो क्या, अभी बंदे में जान बाकी है, अरे मुश्किलें राहों में आई तो क्या, मुश्किलें राहों में आई तो क्या, बात तो शिद्दत से मुकाम चाहने की है. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग द ग्रेट ऑडियंस.
Thank you, Aman.
Ayushi, all we are talking about in this session is sustainability, but do we have better plans for it?
Yes, Amit. We do have alternative energy sources. And to elaborate on the same, we have Mr. Akshay Popat from Vadodara.
Imagine this. You're in your bed, it's early in the morning, and a very irritating noise is hitting in your ears. You open your eyes, wake up, and shut off the alarm. From this up until that one at night, when you are in your bed again, you scroll past your fair share of Instagram, and it is now time to sleep. All the activities that we take part in between these two events revolves around the use of energy. The development of human society has been driven by the development of energy. This has been valued in the ancient Hindu scriptures as well. As I was saying, that this has also been written in ancient Hindu scriptures as well. On one occasion, the Vedas say, Agnil sarve devateyi, sarva devatayo agnil, meaning all material bodies originate from energy, and energy is the source of all material creation. Hello everyone, my name is Akshay Popat, and today we are going to have an insight on alternative energy solutions, the past, present, and future. Have you ever wondered how much energy does it take to light up the whole world? As of the year 2020, it takes around 3 trillion watts of energy to power the whole world. Well, technically not, because even after this, 1 in every 8 people do not have access to electricity, and up to 2.6 billion people do not have access to clean fuels. So how did we get to this point? Let us find out. It is said that the real wealth of a nation lies within the resources of its earth. For the past 150 years, most, if not all economies of the world have been powered by fossil fuels. Combination of dead plants and animals that have been buried beneath the surface of the earth for thousands and thousands of years turned into the fossil fuels that we know today. These are coal, mineral oils, and natural gas. The life that we live and experience today is because of fossil fuels. From the times of the first industrial revolution to this moment as I am struggling with my mic to get the voice to you, it is all because of fossil fuels. Even today, up to 2/3 of all the energy that is generated comes from fossil fuels. The problem with fossil fuels is that it is a source of non-renewable energy. It is estimated that if we keep burning these fuels at the same rate as today, then mankind is only left with 110 years worth of coal, 50 years worth of mineral oils, and 54 worth of natural gas. But that is not the big problem. The major issue with burning fossil fuels is, well, burning them. Because the carbon that is emitted through this process contributes to greenhouse effects that leads to climate change and further global warming. Looking at this, humans as a society moved to different sources of energy. Sources that are more abundant and less harmful to the environment. Thus, renewable energy. Today, what is more abundant in this world than sun and the wind? Thomas Edison is quoted saying, "I put my money on sun and the solar. I hope we do not have to wait until oil and coal runs out before we tackle that." And that is what exactly happened. The advantage that renewables has is that it is a source of clean energy because it does not have a large carbon footprint on the environment. The real question though is, can renewables actually save the planet? Even after rigorously focusing on renewables since the turn of the century, we are still only able to generate up to 1/3 of total energy from renewables. The major problem with renewables is that it is not a source of fixed energy, rather a variable one. What do I mean when I say this? Simply, the sun does not shine the brightest on all days of the year, and the wind does not blow the furthest on all parts of the world. Now, let us also consider the space required for generating this electricity. Hypothetically, if we were to power the whole world using solar energy, it would require a space of up to 95,000 square kilometers, which is an area as big as South Korea. Alternatively, if we did this using wind energy, it would require a space of up to 2 million square kilometers, which is an area as big as Mexico. Let us look at other things as well. It is to be noted that solar energy cannot be stored for longer periods of time. That means if we do not use it as and when it is produced, there is only one option: relinquish the energy. Let us also look at the downsides. Nobody actually has an idea as to how we are going to deal with the solar panels once their lifespans comes to an end. On the flip side, wind energy and wind turbines are responsible for death of countless numbers of endangered bird species throughout the year. Looking at this, it is fair to say that the real question with renewables is, in the efforts to try and save the climate, are we actually destroying the environment? Considering how energy needs to be, it is estimated that the global energy needs will be tripled by the year 2050. So what does the future have in store for us? Let us find out. It is very important for me to mention here that I'm going to focus on only 3 of what is to come. This is in no way an exhaustive list, but just a glimpse of what the future has in store. Number 1, nuclear energy. The first thing that comes to our mind when we hear the word nuclear is bombs and wars. When we utter the word nuclear energy, we are straight away reminded about Chernobyl and Fukushima. Sadly, nuclear does not have a very good reputation, does it? But it has a very strong potential. New reactors have been invented called molten salt reactors, which are more effective, can produce energy in a cost-effective way, and most importantly, are way more safer. But that is not the big deal. The revolution in nuclear energy is going to be thorium. Remember the old days when we used to play with marbles? What if I tell you that thorium the size of this marble is enough to generate all the energy that I will require for my entire life? Crazy, isn't it? And the world is equipped with such amount of thorium to power the whole of humanity today for up to 1,000 years. A side note is that 1/3 of the world's thorium is present in India. Most of it is just laying around in the beaches and the shores of Kerala mixed with sand. The advantage that nuclear energy has is that it can produce a consistent flow of energy, leaving behind the same carbon footprint as that of wind energy. Shocking, isn't it? We've never perceived nuclear in this particular way. Consider this example. Germany is one of the leaders in renewables. It produces up to 46% of its energy through renewables. Had it invested all this energy into nuclear rather than renewables, then Germany would have been a country producing 100% clean energy by now. The problem with thorium is that because we didn't have a demand for it up to now, we are yet to set a fixed supply chain for it. And that needs to be resolved. The next source of energy that I'm going to talk on is inside this bottle. I'll talk about water later, but I want to focus on one of the components of water. Hydrogen. The most abundant element of the universe could be the fuel of the future. The question with hydrogen is not what it can do, rather what it cannot do, because it has tons of uses. Hydrogen can be used to power electric vehicles. More so, advancements have been made where hydrogen-generated mega transport vehicles like trucks have been invented, where this technology could prove to be effective and cost-efficient. Hydrogen can also be used to power mega steel, iron and chemical industries. Clean steel, as it is called, is already being produced around the world, where steel is produced from plants powered by hydrogen. And this will be running in our markets as early as the mid-decade. Hydrogen could also change the face, the way we see the airlines industry today. Because using hydrogen as a substitute to air turbine fuels will help reducing the carbon emissions in this particular industry by up to 1/3. Remember a while ago when I told you renewables energy cannot be stored? Surprise! Hydrogen can do that as well. How? Energy from renewables can be converted into hydrogen, can be stored underground into salt domes, and reconverted into hydrogen and energy as and when needed. The problem with hydrogen today is that most of it is coming from non-renewable sources, and that is not a good thing. Hydrogen might not be a silver bullet solution to powering everything, but if the right balance is struck, it could be of pivotal help. Now let us talk about water and tidal energy. Everything that we see happening with wind turbines and wind energy has been replicated by scientists and engineers under the oceans. Here, energy is generally produced through tidal streams and tidal ranges. Advancements in technologies like underwater kites, underwater turbines, and floating turbines are used to generate energy. Unlike sun and wind, the advantage that water has is that it is more consistent and predictable. That means, as a source of renewable energy, it has the power of generating a continuous flow of energy. The problem with tidal energy today is that because the technology is still very young, it is very expensive. But as years come by, this will surely change. Looking back at what was, what is today, and what is in futuro, we can definitely say that humans are looking above and beyond the horizons of today. What is that? Getting to net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050. Stopping burning fossil fuels. Improving the efficiency in renewables and sourcing new and advancements in other sources of energy is the primary focus. Before I conclude, I want to share a small personal experience. I live by myself here in the city, and I've rented a small place for myself. In that place, I have this part which is very poorly lit. And if some of you might have visited that place, you might be knowing that I light a bulb over it throughout the day. While I was researching for this paper, it came to my understanding that it takes up to 800 tons of coal to burn for a single light bulb to bulb for one whole year. And I felt guilty. I've been more careful while I use that bulb. With this, I hope that all of us are a pinch more careful about using energy. Let us take an oath that we are more mindful about where the energy is coming from and how we are using it. And we are also ready as and when new technology is knocking at our doorstep. Maybe one bulb cannot make a difference, but 8 billion bulbs surely can. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay.
We now request Dr. Sanjeev Singhal for his closing remarks.
Vishal Pai has mentioned in the morning that you will be drenched in knowledge by the end of these 2 days. Honestly, I've been personally benefited and enriched with the knowledge of these 3 papers which have been presented. My compliments to all the 3 paper presenters. And friends, it takes a lot to come on stage and speak. It requires a lot of preparation. And all those who are on the other side of the table, take it as a challenge that each one of you should be able to do that. So kudos to all those who have done it. Rajan talked about the Sustainable Development Goals, and I would like to share with you that come 15th of August, and we would have consumed our annual resources. This is what we do. In 7.5 months, we use annual resources. Means we are borrowing from next year and we are borrowing from next generation. That's not the way Indians live. Indians save for future. But today, what we are doing is over-consuming. Just because we have money, it doesn't mean that we should buy what we don't need. And of course, tree plantation is one area which can absorb carbon emission. We are 330,000 members and 7.5 lakh students. Combined strength of almost 11 lakhs. On an average, if we have 4 family members, means 44 lakhs. If we can plant one tree each on birthday of every member, we would have absorbed 44 lakh into 20 kg of carbon emission. BOS is also working on the study material, whether the study material should be given in the form of printed copy or maybe in an electronic format, and it will save a lot of carbon emission, or at least it can be done on the recycled paper. So we need to think about it. The second paper was on EV. While the picture looks rosy, but at the same time, we should keep in mind that EVs are very costly to use these days, or as of now, because of the sheer low volumes. And most of the EV charging, electric vehicle charging, happen through the coal-based power. So 75% of the power which is used to charge the electric vehicles comes from coal. And disposal of batteries is going to be another issue. Role of chartered accountant was very well laid out by Aman. Akshay presented a paper on alternative energy solutions. Friends, let me also talk about that when you are presenting a paper, putting the material together is one thing and doing a research is another thing. So try to make it research oriented. The alternatives that Akshay talked about are really mind-boggling. And honestly, all of us are behind the solar power and wind power. The magnitude of the issues which Akshay has talked about probably needs to be researched upon. And what we can offer is that we have a few projects for which we give a grant under the research committee of ICI, and these projects are under the Sustainability Reporting Standard Board. So Akshay, if you want to present us a concept, we give a reimbursement grant of up to 10 lakh rupees, right? If you can really find empirical evidence of what you said about nuclear energy, thorium, hydrogen, and the tidal energy, and how it is better as compared to solar and wind. We would love to award one research project in which I said we can give a research grant up to 10 lakh rupees. So think about it, and we'll be happy doing that. And let me tell you that we have to do this with utmost urgency, the alternate energy solutions. If one thing is not the right way, what is the alternative thing? We don't have more than 30-40 years to do all this. Because by 2050, if we don't do it, we don't know, what will happen to our next generation. So think about it and live sustainability on a day-to-day basis. And if any of you, even as a student, want to work with the Sustainability Reporting Standard Board, we have a number of projects on green finance, on sustainable development goals. There's so many ideas which I may not be having today, but which you may have. And we target being the best in the world. So please send your ideas at sustainability@ici.in, and we'll be happy to involve you in the projects that you have in mind if we approve of that project. Thank you, and it was really a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Now we request you all to give a big round of applause to our paper presenters for their efforts and hard work.
May I now request Sri Dr. Sanjeev Singhal to present memento and certificate to our paper presenters. To Rajan Nagar, to Aman Bharadwaj, and to Akshay Popat. Thank you, sir, and best wishes to all the paper presenters. The results will be declared tomorrow in valedictory session.
Now we would like to appreciate our judges, CA Arpan Dodia and CA Nayan Kothari, for their valuable time and doing this tough task. We request CA Sanjeev Singhal to present memento to our judges. CA Arpan Dodia
And Nayan Kothari.
We recognize the efforts of our paper selector, CA Bharat Gajjar. May I now request Mr. Shanay Murjani to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, MOC. I would like to extend my vote of thanks to the chairman of the session, CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal sir, paper selector CA Bharat Gajjar sir, and session judges CA Arpan Dodia sir and CA Nayan Kothari sir. I would also like to thank the paper presenters for the insightful presentations for the audience.
Thank you, Shanay.
Delegates are requested to kindly remain seated as we are about to begin with the next technical session after this changeover.